News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. Watch for financial markets in Tokyo to be somewhat unsettled after Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba moved to resign following a second national election setback. Bloomberg's Paul Jackson.
The key hot issues in Japan has been inflation. It's a nation that's not used to prices going up, and the cost of living crunch has been a new experience and an unpleasant one for voters.
Bloomberg's Paul Jackson in Tokyo. Ishiba was prime minister for less than a year. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky says he's in talks with France, preparing new measures for Ukraine's defenses after Russian forces struck Ukraine's main government complex in Kyiv for the first time overnight, causing damage to the Cabinet of Ministers building, killing at least 2 people. The attack part of a massive drone and missile barrage. OPEC Plus surprising many with another planned production increase for October as the group led by Saudi Arabia and Russia pursues market share over higher prices. Is this a desperate move? Bloomberg's reporter Grant Smith says maybe not.
You could say that it shows the group has given up on what has really been a decade-long strategy ever since it was created, in fact, in late 2016, to attempt to support the market, to balance the market, and to defend prices by restraining supply. The converse way of looking at it would be to say that this is a show of strength, that OPEC feels it has far better insight into demand than the rest of the industry. It's dealing directly with customers. And if it feels those barrels can find a home, there's no reason why it shouldn't produce them.
Bloomberg's Grant Smith reporting. AstraZeneca says its drug Tagrisso significantly lengthened lives of some lung cancer patients when given with chemotherapy. The combo helping patients with a specific type of advanced non-small cell lung cancer live for more than 47 months at the median with a manageable safety profile. Tagrisso is already widely used for tumors driven by some genetic mutations, but it's facing new rivals, including a combo therapy from Johnson & Johnson. More than 300 South Korean workers detained following a massive immigration raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia are being released and taken home. That's according to South Korea's government. Their return coming after a high-level South Korean official got involved. Some U.S. citizens at the LG Energy Solution battery complex were also detained and then released. Chicagoans expecting a federal immigration crackdown. President Trump saying on social media the city is about to learn why it's called the Department of War, a reference to his new name for the Defense Department. Democratic Congressman Mike Quigley, though, whose district includes parts of Chicago, says he tried to get information from the administration about the plan, but
if they were serious about this being about making communities safer, they would coordinate, they would communicate.
President Trump has said an immigration crackdown in Chicago could last about 6 weeks. President Trump telling reporters White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett, Federal Reserve Governor Chris Waller, and former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh are the finalists to replace Fed Chair Jay Powell.
I am looking at Kevin also, and I'm looking at, I would say you could say those are the top 3.
The timetable for selecting a successor to Powell is unclear. Inflation data coming out this coming week could temper the wild interest rate cut hopes that we've been seeing on Wall Street after that weaker than expected jobs report in the U.S. Friday triggered more optimism about an interest rate cut from the Fed when it meets mid-month. Apple's biggest production launch event of the year takes place day after tomorrow. Bloomberg's Karen Moskow has preview.
Apple plans to introduce its next-generation iPhone lineup, new smartwatches, and other peripherals. It's part of a blitz of products launching in the fall that should help the company fend off increasing competition. The new lineup includes the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. Those will have new backs that give a fresh look to the camera areas. It'll also include an all-new model expected to be called the iPhone 17 Air, which will have an ultra-thin body. The devices kick off a 3-year period of new iPhone designs. Karen Moskow, Bloomberg Radio.
Thank you, Karen. Microsoft says it's no longer detecting issues with its Azure cloud platform. That's after multiple international cables in the Red Sea were cut and then apparently addressed. Chinese hackers reportedly pretended to be a top U.S. lawmaker during trade talks. Wall Street Journal says the hackers impersonated House Committee Chair Representative John Molinar, Republican from Michigan, online in emails soliciting information and opinions from trade groups, law firms, and U.S. government agencies about trade issues. Stellantis new CEO Antonio Filosa calling for urgent EU action to rescue the region's car industry as challenges mount. He says there are too many regulations in Europe and also says Maserati is not for sale.
We've got another life-changing jackpot for you.
Powerball players in Missouri and Texas winning the estimated $1.8 billion jackpot Saturday, overcoming astronomical odds to end the lottery game's 3-month drought without a big winner. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. This is Bloomberg.